May 18th is National Redline Day, the anniversary of when Hot Wheels Redline cars first came out. And 2026 marks the 7th annual celebration of this event. And it's a very important event for me. In 2020, I did a Jackrabbit special. In 2021, I did a twin mill. In 2022, I did a whipped creamer. In 2023, I did a custom Volkswagen. In 2024, I did a Lotus Turbine. In 2025, I did a Chaparral 2G. And for 2026, I'm doing this Mercedes Benz 280SL. It's a cool little casting. Has a little flaw. Obviously, one of the axles is broken. The tip of it is off, and so the bearing is gone. But otherwise, this was in really good shape. The glass was great. It still had a hood. It's just a matter of, fixing the paint and replacing that axle. So we'll get to that. I'd like to thank the Four Horsemen for hosting this event again this year. As I said before, this is an important event for me, and I always look forward to building for this. So since this thing has bearing wheels, I cut those old wheels off. It's always better. You want to cut them off. You don't want to try pulling them off because you can pull that bearing right off and damage the axle. I'm kind of guessing that's probably what happened with the original. Somebody probably took a whack at restoring it and thought, oh, just change the wheels and jazz it up that way. Pulled a wheel off, and next thing you know, it's available in a whatnot auction. So for this back axle assembly, you see the little spring assembly there, that spring axle that's on there. Had to get the old one off of there, and it's not difficult at all. Fortunately, you got to wiggle it around a little bit, and it comes right out. Since I have a bunch of old junk Redlines around, I just steal one of those axles off one of the beaters that I have and get a replacement that way. And there you see it. There's a replacement that I'm going to put on there. I do that off camera. Oh, there you see the taillights as well. I do end up redoing those. But I end up doing the rear axle off camera because it's a little more difficult than it looks, and it's also a little more difficult when you're under the pressure of having the camera recording you doing it. So this one, like I said before, I got it stripped. I used Citra strip for the stripper, and it was in great shape. It did need a little cleaning up, and again, I don't get too carried away with the filing on this. It's going to be a restoration, and really none of it is in that bad a shape. There's a little cleaning that needed to be done. But other than that, it wasn't like, oh, there's major body work to be done. It wasn't like one of the pillars on the windshield was broken. Those kind of things are kind of typical. It has the hood, like I said before. It has the hood. That's like a major accomplishment on some of these old castings. I can't tell you how many of these old beaters I have, not of the Mercedes itself, but how many of these I just have without hoods. So it was thrilling to actually have a hood on this. After getting it stripped down, polishing the heck out of it with Flitz polish, again done off camera. I used a Dremel tool and a buffing wheel on that, and just hit it with Flitz over and over and over to get it to a high shine. Dip it in the IPA that you see there, the isopropyl alcohol, to clean off any grease, any remaining polish, any oil that's on the car. Here you see me using one of these little felt tip brushes. I like using those to get in the cracks of the door, get those in the cracks of different seams on the body. Because when you polish a casting, what I've found is you're not always sure you're getting the polish out of those areas, even dipping it in IPA. You want to make sure to get it all out because you want your paint to adhere properly. So I do that, polished up the base as well, as you see there. And then I like going over the base. I like going over that polished area that I'm not going to paint with Renaissance wax. The reason I like using Renaissance wax is you'll see here momentarily. The Renaissance wax, even though I've basically gone over this polish over and over and over to get any remaining polish off of there, the Renaissance wax has a way of cutting through and just getting any remaining of that flitz that you use to polish it off that casting. Sure, it puts wax over it, which is why you can't paint over the Renaissance wax. But there you see what it's picking up. And it does a great job at doing this. And it puts a thin wax coating on it. After I get through doing this buff on this, I will go over it again with Renaissance wax, just to add that wax coating to protect it. At this point, I hadn't put on the rear axle, the replacement axle. And I will do that momentarily. Again, I don't think I really show much of it because you're basically dealing with that springy piano wire, and it fights you when it wants to go into place. But here I just keep polishing this, and I probably should have sped up this section of the video because at this point you're probably getting bored and I'm running out of words to say. One of the reasons this date is very important to me, it's also my wife and my wedding anniversary date. And just coincidentally, it's not like we set out to get married on the day Hot Wheels came out. And I hadn't even started doing little cars at the point when we were married. So it's just an interesting coincidence and adds to the reason why this date is actually incredibly important to me. Back to the build, here you see how I have that axle now in place. It's snapped in there. And the bearings are good to go on this one. Again, reason when you can get scrap Hot Wheels Redlines, it's a good idea to get them if you can get them on the cheap, because you never know which parts you might want to use off of them. In that previous scene, you did also hopefully see that I painted the rear tail lights. I didn't go with the flat red like the original. I went with the gloss transparent red over the shiny base. I just like the look of that better. So I hope that's okay. As far as the glass goes, I mentioned before, the glass was in fantastic shape. I couldn't have asked for more. From a car this old, to have glass this nice is practically unheard of for a car that was obviously played with. You know, this isn't something that someone set aside and just sat in a drawer forever. This is obviously something that was played with. You can tell that also by the paint job. But the glass, I don't know if it has something to do with the shape of the Mercedes or what, but it was a survivor. So I do polish up the glass. It doesn't need much polish. I did polish it up with flitz, as you saw the tube of a few seconds ago. I do use the Q-tips, not Q-tip brand Q-tips, but the properly called cotton swabs rather than Q-tips probably. Use that to help polish it up, get into areas that are a little more difficult for me to do with my fingers. And then there's those spots that I can. So I get it all polished up. I know to the shock of some, I did not use gauzy on this build. The glass is great. I thought about it for a minute, and then I thought, why bother? The glass is in great shape. Why bother dipping it in gauzy, adding that additional step? I thought, nah, I'll make it even more like an original and not have gauzy on it. So I did that. The interior was fantastic. And I did, wash it very quickly in warm soapy water. It probably didn't even need that. There was very little dirt or anything like that inside of it. You see the glass pops onto that interior section, and then that will all just drop into place on the casting. So here you have the resulting pieces. There's the base, there's the taillights I mentioned before. I did use metal cast, duplicolor metal cast paint on this. That's the blue over the polished base. There's the interior we just looked at. Just drop that interior into the top part of the car. Make sure I have it facing the right way. And then drop the base on. I had drilled and tapped this earlier. It does use 172 screws because the posts are so small. I don't know why I was having a little trouble fitting it together, or seemed to be having a little trouble fitting it together. I'm eyeballing it here, and it's like, is this really together? Part of the problem was, you see that interior through the rear wheel well, and it gives you the impression that it's not fully together. And so I was questioning it at that point. I shouldn't have been. It was together. It's just visually, for some reason, that threw me off. So I thought, well, let me take this apart. I did. Took it apart, as you see here, made sure everything was in the right place. Not that there's a lot of give on it. There's really only one place that's going to drop in snugly because of the way the glass is. So yeah, it was good to go. I should have just gone ahead and thrown the screw in it before, but you question it. So once that's all together, there you see it. And you gotta love it. It rolls like the original Hot Wheels did. They were just fantastic. There's the original car before the restoration. Here's some glamour shots coming up. I hope you like this build. I certainly am happy with it. I'd like to thank the Four Horsemen again for hosting the event again this year. Please check out all of the builds in this event, and there will be a recap video on the Four Horsemen Diecast YouTube channel. Thank you everyone for watching this video, and just want to say to my wife, happy anniversary, baby. And catch y'all in the next one. Thanks for watching.